is not possible because 27 mod 2 is 1, and we would not have executed line 33 in that case. In other words, I just eliminated one possibility in this case. Can I eliminate any other possibilities? Okay, can x equal to 30? Can x equal to 30 at line 32? It can, because if x is 30 at line 32, then the condition would be true, and then we would have added 1 to it. Okay, can x be 30? Excuse me, can x be 31? Yes, it can, because x 31 mod 2 is 1, which means the condition would have been false, and we would have skipped the x equals x plus 1, and then we move on to the next line. Okay, so now we have just eliminated one possibility. All the other 3 are possible. Okay.
How is 28 possible? Because it would go through the then. If it was 28, and get added.
Oh, you're right. Okay, x28 at line 32 is not possible. Yep, you're right. Because 28 mod 2 is 0, and we would have ended up with x equals 28 by line 35. By the time we get to line 35. Very good. Yep.
Why is it 27 not possible and 31 is possible?
Sorry?
Why is it 27 not possible and 31 is possible?
31 is possible because, if x is 31, we would have skipped line 33. So by the time we get to line 35, x would still be 31.
Well, we would do the same thing with 27. Because 31, mod 31 is 1, and mod 27 is 1.
Yeah, but 27 is not that big.
Yeah, if x was 27 on line 32, we would have skipped line 33. So by the time we get to line 35, it would still be 27 and not the 28 that we want. Yep. So now we have concluded that x can be 31 or x could be 30. So the suspicion is that pre-32 is x can be 30 or x can be 31 or x can be 30. So starting with that premise, you have to kind of move forward again to basically verify by the time you get to line 37, we know for sure that x is going to be 28. Okay, so we have to go through all the pre and post condition stuff again. In this case, you have to go to pre-33 first. Pre-33 is pre-32 and x mod 2 equals to 0. Okay? So in this case, if you expand it, it becomes x equals 31 or x equals 30, and then the whole thing, and x mod 2 equals to 0. Right? You can simplify this at this point and just say that x has to be 31. Does it make sense? One side gives me 2 possibilities. The other side, which is using a conjunction to hook up to the left-hand side, is a constraint. So if you look at this constraint here and look at the possible choices, it reduces the possible choices down to 1 because, I take it back, it narrows down to x has to be 30 because if x was 31, x mod 2 would not have been 0. Okay. So based on that, you have to look at line 33. On line 33, the right-hand side refers to the left-hand side, and an inverse function exists for the right-hand side. So if I define f of x to be x plus 1, the inverse function x prime is going to be just x minus 1. So we use the substitution rule, which means post 33, is the result of the substitution operation. We use pre-33 to begin with. We substitute all occurrences of x with the inverse function applied to x. So that means the substitution is just x equals to 30. That's my pre-33. We substitute x with x minus 1. And the result of the substitution is x minus 1 equals to 30. And in one step, you can also see that this is just saying that x equals to 31. Is that okay? Okay. Now, how do I say, what is post 34? Post 34, there are two ways to get to post 34, because once again, we have a lopsided conditional branch, like this. Okay. We have just figured out what is post 30. This is post 33. And what is this? How do I express the other side? This side is basically just saying this is the same as pre-32, and it is not the case that this condition is satisfied, because otherwise we would not have gone for that branch. So in this case, it is not the case that x mod 2 equals to 0. Is that making any sense? Okay. So that means post 34 is post 33, or this whole thing here, pre-32 and not x mod 2 equals to 0. Is that okay so far? Kind of? And how can I simplify this? Post 33 is easy. It's just saying x equals to 31. What about the other side? What is pre-32? Pre-32 is saying that x can be 30 or x can be 31. That's pre-32. I'm just copying and pasting that portion. And then the conjunction is still here, but we can kind of change this one to make it a little bit easier to read. And that's it. Can I simplify this a little bit? Especially this side here. So once again, we have one side of the conjunction tells me that x can be 30 or x can be 31. The other side is giving me an extra constraint that x mod 2 has to be different from 0. So if you combine these two, it is only telling me that x is what? 31. X is 31. And if you see x is 31 or x is 31, x is 31. Okay? Now we know what is post 34, and we simplify everything to, at this point, x has to be 31. Everything else is a little bit easier, because you can now look at post pre 35 is the same as post 34, because the statements are sequential. Then we can work with the second conditional statement. In the second conditional statement, the first thing you have to do is to say, what is pre-36? Pre-36 is basically saying it is pre-35 and the condition is true. Okay, because otherwise I would not have gone into the then branch. Pre-35 is saying x equals to 31 and x is greater than 30. Okay, that's not a problem. Can I simplify this a little bit? Okay, look at this way. A and is looking at the intersection of two bunch of stuff. The left-hand side specifies a single point of the number line. The right-hand side specifies from this point and on, everything. So what is the intersection? That one? X is 31. That's the only intersection of these two. Is that okay? Okay, let's think about the number line again. This is 30, this is 31, this is 32, and so on. If I say x equals to 31, I'm just saying, oh, it has to be this guy. When I say x is greater than 30, I'm saying, well, x can be 31, can be 32, can be 33, and so on and so forth. when I intersect this set with this set here, what is the intersection? What is common to both? Just this guy. Okay, so that's why I can simplify the whole thing to just, x equals to 31. Okay, well, if x is 31, then we look at line 36. On line 36, the right-hand side, once again, refers to the left-hand side, and inverse function exists for the right-hand side. G of x, in this case, I just use a different letter so I don't confuse myself with the other one. G prime of x is just x plus 3. Okay, we can now use the substitution rule, which means post 36 is based on the substitution of pre-36, replacing all occurrences of x by g prime applied to x. So the rest of it is just, expanding it. Substitution, x equals 31, because that's pre-36. We replace occurrences of x by x plus 3, because that's g prime of x. So what do? We just say x plus 3 equals 31, right? Because we are replacing this x with x plus 3. But you can also simplify that, because you can move the plus 3 as a minus 3 on the other side, then you get x equals to 28. But we are not quite done yet, because this is only one of the branches. Okay, we have just figured out the post condition over here. We still have to say something about the other side. The other side, if you look at post 37, post 37 is post 36, or, because we have the alternative to go to the other side, pre-35, and it is not the case that x is greater than 30. Okay? Post 36 is known already. Post 36, according to this derivation, is just x equals to 28. What about the other side? Pre-35 is what?
X equals 31.
X equals 31. Very good. X equals 31. And the negation of x is greater than 30 is just to say x is less than or equal to 30. Okay? And what exactly is this expression here? X equals to 31 and x is less than or equal to 30.
Contradictory.
Yeah, contradictory, which means the whole thing is false. Okay? So that means we end up with x equals 28 or false. And that simplifies to what? X equals 28. Because anything or false is whatever the other side is. Okay? So let me just make sure I save this one, because I'm pretty sure this is a one. It's a little bit lengthy, but it's not really particularly tricky. Remember to use pictures, because a picture can help you look at how you can get to that point, and then from that point, if you need to work backwards, you have to say, okay, are there two ways to go back or just one way to go back? If I go back this way, what does it imply? If I go back the other way, what does it imply? Okay, so we got that one taken care of. And then the rest, let's see. Looking at just the file, I cannot see which one is which one. Yep.
We would have similar assignment on our final. With going back and forward.
That's the only type of question I would ask.
Okay.
So it's basically going backwards, in terms of, okay, tell me why you think that's the precondition of the entire thing, and then go forward again to verify that will make the post condition